Peace. What's good, guys? It's your host, JayThat'sMe. Let's talk about, discuss NXT for February the 14th, 2023, aka the Valentine's Day edition of NXT. This was a decent show. We furthered a couple of storylines and angles coming, and I enjoyed it for the most part. This was a solid show. All right, so we kicked the show off officially with a in loving memory graphic for Jerry Jarrett, the father of Jeff Jarrett. So keep the Jarrett family in your thoughts and in your prayers, and we send our love and condolences to the Jarrett family. First match of the night, Grayson Waller versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate wins via a roll-up. So the finish was where Waller was trying to roll up Tyler, but the ref caught him, and then Tyler rolled him up. I didn't really like that finish. I wish that Grayson Waller still would have won. You know, to me, Grayson Waller is the most over heel in NXT, and I really do love Grayson Waller. I do see him as a future NXT champion. I do. I don't know why they haven't given him the title yet. I do think once Bron Breakker drops the title to Carmelo, then we'll probably, get a feud between Melo and Waller. I think that would be solid. We've done that before in the past, but it could still be very beneficial. So, Apollo Crews, he's still journaling in the dark for whatever reason. I have no idea. I wish they would end that awful gimmick. So, he throws down his journal because he's pissed off. He calls out Dabba-Kato, saying that he felt his hug, and then he laid him out like that. No call, no text. He tuned in last week, and all he had to say is that he's supposed to know what he did. What they did was share the road and major moments and family time together. Dabba-Kato has his reasons, and now Apollo has his. The only thing he's focused on is revenge. So, to me, I don't like this because it doesn't make any sense. Because he's like, well, forget the past. I'm not even focused on the NXT title anymore. It's like, why are you focused on Dabba-Kato? They've been apart from one another for well over a year. And it's not even that important of a feud because it's just a little mini feud. Like, what more could you really even be focused on? It's not that important. Seriously, it's not. So I don't know why Apollo's, focused on winning a mini feud when you can just do a one and done match, or just have a little mini feud and then trying to get him back on tracks. That's just me. I don't fucking know. I don't know, but I'm not excited for Dabba-Kato and Apollo Crews in due time. I'm just not. No. So, moving on. Oh, I forgot to mention Grayson Waller. So him and Shawn Michaels, they got into it. Shawn Michaels, he was in Gorilla, and Grayson was just throwing things at him and screaming and everything else. And then HBK calls for the break. So, and then also during that time, we saw Jacy Jayne walk in backstage. So, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Apologize. Speaking of Jacy Jayne, she finally explained her actions. She says last week was the end of Toxic Attraction. Of the Toxic Attraction story, and the beginning of the Jacy Jayne story. And now it's all about her, and she's been the talk of NXT. Not Bron, not Carmelo, and not Roxanne Perez, and definitely not Gigi Dolin. So she says she didn't regret stomping Gigi's head in. She just regrets not doing it sooner. She's watched the footage 1,000 times, so she wants to see it again 1,001 times. So, and then she says, people ask if she really had to kick her head in that hard. She says, yes, she did. And then she goes on and says, all of us want to sit down here and act like Gigi is the victim. But anyone with 2 brain cells understands that she's the real victim here. She's no longer going to be taking care of all of Gigi's mistakes. And she wants every single person in this building watching at home listen very carefully. And then then the camera phones in and she says, screw you. And I love that. Really good. And then she explains some more. She says, for the last 2 years, we've all seen her as the third wheel of toxic attraction. The one who didn't belong. Who called her the third wheel. Who wondered why she was even in toxic attraction. But now she has a spotlight and she's the only one standing. She's the last woman standing. Okay. So I do like that. Solid promo work by Jacy. She's decent, She's decent. I could see her, doing very well in this heel run by herself, in this singles run. I do think that the sky is the limit for her. I think she'll do very well. And I can't wait to see what else they're going to do with her. So I'm very excited about this. So we got footage of Meiko Satomura being picked up from the airport by Roxanne Perez. So Chase U, they're backstage. So Thea Hale, she's still antsy and jittery about what happened last week. So she's real jumpy. So Duke Hudson and Andre Chase, they're trying to figure out what happened with Schism. What happened with her last week involving Schism. So Thea says she won't back down. And she won't back out because that means that Schism wins. So tonight she's going to look Fear in the face and say, hi, Fear, I'm Thea. You're going to get a Andre Chase university-sized ass whooping. So I do like this. So Thea Hale versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, she wins via the moonsault. I'm loving Tiffany Stratton. Also, Schism, they were in the crowd on this. So we first saw the Dyad, the Grizzled Young Vets. And then we also saw Ava Raine. So she removed her yellow mask. And post-match, Thea was still, jittery and scared and, sitting in a fetal position, just trying to figure things out. I was like, okay, I kind of get where this is going. I kind of see where they're going with it. Am I excited for an Andre Chase? Chase University versus Schism feud? Not so much. If we can get Ava Raine wrestling, yes. But if we can't, no. Just not really into that. We also got Ruka. Forgot to mention this. She had a good little vignette talking about how she wanted, how it took her forever to come up with her finishing move. She kept on practicing it until she got it right. And she finally hit it on Zoe Stark. And so she then challenges Zoe Stark to a match. And I'm just like, I like Ruka, Zoe Stark, and get off my fucking television, please. So, Tatum Paxley and... Oh, yeah. We got some really good comedy in this show as well. That being Javier Bernal, our boy, who we don't see as much of. We see him maybe about twice a month. Let's just be honest. Yeah, twice a month. So, Javier Bernal, he rolls up on the Diamond Mine Dojo. So he says that he's got a special opportunity for Tatum Paxley. He asked her to be his Javi time. She says she's taken. So he laughs her off and makes the same offer to Ivy Nile, who then says she'd love to be his Valentine. So he just has like a real big thing of Valentine candy and chocolate with his face plastered over him. So I do like that. So Javi starts to get excited, and then out of nowhere, she being Ivy Nile, locks in the Dragon Sleeper. And I laughed because that was some really good shit right there. I love that. So Isla Dawn, she was talking, I guess, to the spirits or an object. I don't know what. But she's basically trying to put Tatum and Ivy Nile against one another. And she's basically taunting Tatum about trying to no. So she taunts Tatum Paxley about her refusal to stand on her own. And so then both Ivy and Tatum, they leave. So, okay. Interesting. Tatum looks pretty decent. She does look decent. She has a decent look to her. I do miss the mask, but she does look pretty decent. Axiom versus Damon Kemp in a very quick match. This was about maybe like 2.5, 3 minutes. So Axiom wins via the golden ratio. So we get some social media hype for Brooke Jensen's date with Kiana James. So Fallon Henley and Josh Briggs, they're backstage talking in the locker room. She says that she's had enough, and she has to tell Brooks and Jensen. Jensen. He's confused. So, I forgot to mention earlier on in the show. Hold on, I forgot to mention. Let me go back real quick. Pull this up. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention. After the first match, Tyler Bate versus Grayson Waller, I forgot to mention this. So, earlier on in the show, Briggs is giving Jensen a pep talk about his date tonight. So, Jensen, he's flustered because he's never, and Briggs tells him it's okay. Plenty of 22-year-olds have never had a home run. I've never hit a home run. Brooks admits he's never been kissed. And Josh gives him some quick... Briggs gives him some quick instructions on how to do it, how to get a kiss. And it seems like he was about to kiss Jensen, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? This is some weird shit. Thankfully, Fallon Henley came in. She rolls up. She asks what they're doing. Faces an inch or two apart. So, basically, Briggs, he spills the beans, and he embarrasses Jensen. So, yeah. I don't want any crazy stuff like that on television. That's kind of some sick shit. Moving on. Where was I? I apologize for doing that, guys, but I had to get it in. Okay. I just forgot to mention it. Okay. So, we get a Twitter video of Grayson Waller. He's screaming about HBK kicking him out of the building. He calls him a hypocrite, and he says that he should be grateful that he's even a part of NXT. He is NXT. He put NXT on the map. So I'm digging this. I don't know. We could very well see a Shawn Michaels versus Grayson Waller feud starting. I don't know. It all depends. Don't know, but that would be cool. I could picture it. I mean, I could see, Shawn versus Waller, maybe like a 5-minute match. I could see something like that, maybe at Stand and Deliver. So that's probably where all things are headed. So I'm really digging this storyline here. I really am. I'm digging it. Grayson Waller is such a good heel. Moving on. Bron Breakker, he's out next. So he says that it feels a little different in here tonight. When one door closes, the next one opens. But this next challenge ahead of him is different, and it feels bigger. The match that everybody wants to see. Bron versus him. And then in comes Jinder Mahal. So Bron says he wasn't expecting to see Jinder and tells him that a great champion should always... Jinder tells him that a great champion should always expect the unexpected. And Jinder's here to respectfully interrupt. Jinder says he admires that Bron has carried NXT on his shoulders for a year. And he knows very well that... and he knows very well the weight he carries on his shoulder. He knows the stress of the next challenger, trying to retain your title. Not only that, but he completely understands all the media and the appearances, the late nights, the early mornings that come with being the champ. From a former WWE champion to a current NXT champion, is this the reign Bron dreamt of? And then Bron says he's damn straight it is. He demands to know what Jinder's talking about. Jinder says he must be deaf if he doesn't hear the small pocket of fans who once loved him and are now changing their tune. But it's okay. He knows better than anyone else that you have to either die a hero or you'll become the villain. So I do like that line right there. Really cool line in the promo. Bron tells him that the fans can say whatever they want. And Jinder is here because of that arrogance. The fact that he can't acknowledge what's going on around him. Jinder says the fact that he can't acknowledge what's going on around him, that the tides are changing and he's tired and vulnerable and weak. That's why he's challenging Bron to a match next week for the NXT Championship. Bron tells him to stop wasting everyone's time with the new 3-man band out here. So there's a couple of 3MB chants that gets going. Jinder tells everyone to relax. Jinder says the people don't like him, and he knows he only brought up 3MB so they could like him, that being Bron. But after he takes the title, they still won't like him. They won't even feel bad for him. Don't worry, but the Maharaja will. So I do like that. That's pretty cool. It does make sense from Jinder's promo last week saying that they're going to be draped in gold. So it's interesting. I do expect Jinder to lose here. And then probably since Roadblock is in early March, I think it's March 5th, they mentioned it during the show. So I wouldn't be shocked if we have a rematch between the two at Roadblock as well. So, I can see that happening. So KC Square, they're backstage. They're up on Roxanne Perez and Meiko Satomura. And they apologize to Roxanne. They said that they were pissed over the titles last week and that they should apologize for the way they acted. Roxanne accepts the apology and asks if they still want to have the match. And they said, yeah, they do. And so they bow to Meiko, showing her sign of respect. So Roxanne thanks Meiko for coming so far to help her out. And then Meiko says she has her reasons. So Indy Hartwell, she's backstage. She's being interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. She says after everything she went through, she's happy to see Gigi get her head kicked into a door. But after listening to everything Jacy Jayne was saying, the only thing she has to, she has to say the only place she's going is behind her. I don't understand why in the fuck Indy Hartwell still on NXT? She's been there for what? Close to 4 years. Put her on the main roster. It's time to see if she can sink or swim. Seriously, I'm so tired of Indy Hartwell. I mean, I'm a fan of her. I like her, but damn, put her on the main roster. It's really time. So Wes Lee, he's about to have his open challenge. So Tony D, he accepts, but Dijak attacks him, and then so Dijak, Tony D, and Stacks, they all brawl, and they all go to the back. And then Von Wagner, he takes out Wes Lee. So it's Von Wagner versus Wes Lee for the NXT North American Championship. So Wes Lee wins via the cartwheel Pele kick for the 3. So it's interesting, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do with Wes Lee. I really don't. Don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm kind of hoping that they bring back Zachary Wentz, a.k.a. Nash Carter. Hopefully. They should bring him back, though. Really, they should. They really should. Hank Walker, so he rolls up on Drew Gulak. He mentions his new singlet. Drew says that he likes it. And Hank says he doesn't have any wrestling boots. He just has his work boots. So, for whatever nasty reason, Drew Gulak gives him an old pair of his boots and tells him to lace them up because his match is next. That is so fucking nasty. That's so disgusting. I hope that Hank Walker, during commercial break, at least got some disinfecting spray and sprayed those boots a couple times. Seriously, that is fucking nasty. What isn't nasty is Charlie Dempsey beating Hank Walker. So Charlie Dempsey versus Hank Walker. Dempsey beats Hank Walker in quick fashion. He locks in the, I guess, the Regal stretch, I guess. And then he does it again post-match. So referees come down, try to get him to break the hold. Gulak, he pops up on the apron to confront him. And then they stare each other down, and then they walk off together. And Hank Walker, he's confused and he's angry. And I'm like, yes, they finally did it. We finally have the Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey alliance. And I am so fucking excited for this. This is great. This is fucking phenomenal. Tremendous. I love it. Can't wait to see what this duo is going to do. I cannot wait. So, Von Wagner, he's backstage with Robert Stone. He's throwing things around. Stone says he has plenty to say, but what's the point? He didn't lose the match for lack of ability. And he don't have no ability. He didn't have any in-ring ability. He lost because his walls are up, and he doesn't have a connection to anybody. He has to break his walls down and help Mr. Stone to understand him and to help him. So Stone says he doesn't have time for people who have their walls up. But he has time for the guy inside. And he'll get Von where he wants to go. But again, he says he has to help him. So this is interesting. I'm digging. I'm liking and seeing where it goes. So we get a really good comedy segment involving Gallus. And they're shooting a game with Pretty Deadly, a game of pool, of billiards. So they challenge him to a game of billiards. They promise the champs a damn good thrashing. So Gallus beats them handily. So there's one shot where I think Elton Prince is holding the butt of Kit Wilson. I got a couple laughs out of that. That was funny. That was some good shit right there. That's some good modern day Chuck and Billy stuff right there. From years ago. I think that happened in maybe 02, 03 from SmackDown years ago. Like, this is the modern Billy and Chuck. Really good shit. So Pretty Deadly, they asked for the best of 3 and the title shot on the line. Gallus is their game as long as they keep the glasses full. So 7 games in Gallus, they actually win. And so Pretty Deadly, they freak the fuck out over the tab. It's like a massive receipt. That Gallus probably spent maybe about over $1,000 on the shit of drinking. I'm like, damn. And I got a kick out of that. That was hilarious. So Gallus says they're not the New Day. If you wanted a title match, all they had to do was just ask. So I do like that. It's pretty good. So Ilya Dragunov, he's backstage in a nice suit. He says his recovery was a difficult path, and he had internal bleeding. He was gone for 4 months. But he believes that pain helps make you feel alive. And he is informed that McDonough is in the hospital with a detached retina. He says that's just the beginning. So Trick Williams, he's in the ring, and he said he's not going to leave until he meets Dragunov face to face. Trick says, he continues to talk trash to Dragunov. And at one point he calls him a blue-footed raggedy bum. So Ilya, he gets on the mic. He finally strolls down to the ring. He says that he's very entertaining with all his phrases and rhymes. Clearly the life of the party, but he didn't come back to NXT to have fun. Trick felt what it's like to try and keep him away from his mission, but he has no problem. So Trick and Dragunov, they brawl. JD, he comes out. He has an eye patch over his eye. So JD tells Ilya he should have stayed at home. He's going to force him to show these people what exactly he's capable of, seeing as he's trying to blind him. So JD has no problem telling him he'll beat him so badly that he can't even hold his own son. So this allows Trick to get the upper hand, and he takes out Dragunov. So that's interesting. I do like this. I'm hoping that we do see a finality with the Dragunov-McDonough feud. I mean, I do like it, but we've got to at some point end it. Like, come on. Mello, he's backstage hanging out with Trick Williams. So Trick rushes in screaming about getting one over on Dragunov. So Carmelo points out that he got Ilya mad, but Drake says he can throw knees, shoulders, and fingers, or toes. He's going to find out Williams is the baddest and prettiest around. I love me some Trick Williams, man. I love me some Trick Williams. I love me some Trick Williams. Trick Williams is so fucking cool. So fucking good. So, Jensen is dropping off Kiana James at her door. So he begins to awkwardly stumble over his words and points out the North Star. She fiddles with her keys, so he leans in to kiss her. So Fallon Henley, she rolls up and ruins the moment and tells Jensen that Kiana is cheating on him because she heard Kiana on a phone call telling a guy named Zach that she loves him. And Kiana says she does love Zach because he's her brother. So Zach then opens up the door and he tells Kiana that he fed the dogs. So Fallon begins to apologize. Kiana gives her the business and heads inside. Kiana says, when are you going to begin to trust her and realize that this is real? So both Briggs and Jensen, they walk off and they're kind of upset at Fallon. But to me, I think that this is all a ruse. We all know that Kiana is a devious heel. So I do think that she's going to eventually screw over Briggs and Jensen. She's going to at some point break Jensen's heart. She has to at some point. Main event. KC Squared versus Meiko Satomura and Roxanne Perez. Meiko Satomura and Roxanne Perez win via the Pop Rocks This was a pretty okay little match. So post-match, Meiko Satomura gets on the mic, and she said she did Roxanne Perez a favor, and now she'd like to do something for her. She points at the title, and Roxanne says it'd be her honor, and she bows, and then she holds the title up, and they both stare each other down, and that was the show. So, a pretty decent episode of NXT. We furthered a few more storylines and angles, but overall, it was decent. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.